But no, Nephilim, were they truly the offspring of angels and humans? Part 1. The Opening. Sowing the Seeds of Mystery. Welcome, seekers of ancient truths, to Bible by Candlelight. In the hushed glow of these flickering flames, we often find ourselves drawn to the shadows, to the enigmatic passages that whisper of worlds beyond our easy comprehension. Tonight, we turn our gaze to one of the Bible's most perplexing and debated mysteries, the Nephilim. Who were these beings of legend, mentioned so fleetingly yet so powerfully in the antediluvian narrative? Were they merely figures of ancient folklore, or do they represent a profound, perhaps unsettling intersection of the divine and the mortal? The very notion challenges our understanding of creation, of good and evil, and of the boundaries between heaven and earth. Join us as we journey into the heart of this ancient enigma, promising to unearth the biblical clues, historical contexts, and theological implications that surround these colossal figures, and ask, were the Nephilim truly the hybrid offspring of angels and humans? Part 2. The Journey of Deep Discovery. The historical and cultural context echoes from a primordial world. To understand the Nephilim, we must first transport ourselves back to the world before the Great Flood, a time depicted in Genesis as being fraught with corruption and moral decay. This was not a simple, innocent world, but one already wrestling with the profound consequences of the fall. The mention of the Nephilim in Genesis 6-4 is strikingly concise, almost an aside, yet it punctuates a passage that sets the stage for God's decision to cleanse the earth. It is crucial to remember that cultures, particularly in the Near East, were rich with stories of divine beings interacting with humanity, often resulting in heroic or monstrous offspring. Myths of demigods, giants, and heroes with supernatural parentage were common. Was the Genesis account a unique, divinely revealed truth amidst a sea of pagan narratives? Or did it perhaps engage with and reframe existing cultural concepts, asserting a distinct theological message? Understanding this backdrop helps us appreciate the potential resonance and shock value this concept might have had for its original audience. The Nephilim were not introduced in a vacuum. They emerged in a world grappling with its own origins and the pervasive presence of both human and perceived supernatural forces. Decoding the Scripture. Unpacking Genesis 6-1-4. The primary biblical reference to the Nephilim is found in Genesis 6-1-4, a passage that has fueled centuries of debate. When human beings began to increase in number on the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. Then the Lord said, "My spirit will not contend with humans forever, for they are mortal. Their days will be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterward when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown." This brief text is laden with interpretative challenges. The central mystery revolves around the identity of the sons of God, B'nai Ha-Elohim. Who are they? The most prominent interpretations fall into three main categories. The angelic interpretation. This view, prevalent in early Jewish literature, like the Book of Enoch, and early Christian thought, posits that the sons of God were fallen angels who illicitly cohabited with human women, producing the Nephilim. Proponents point to the divine designation, son God, and the seemingly unnatural nature of the union, leading to heroes of old, men of renown, a phrase that suggests extraordinary, perhaps even monstrous, beings. This interpretation highlights a cosmic rebellion, not just a human one, where heavenly beings crossed forbidden boundaries. It underscores the severity of the pre-flood corruption. The Sethite interpretation. This perspective suggests that the sons of God refer to the righteous lineage of Seth, who had preserved the worship of God, while the daughters of humans were the unrighteous lineage of Cain. The sin, in this view, was the intermarriage between these two lines, leading to a dilution of faith and widespread apostasy. This interpretation emphasizes human responsibility and the dangers of spiritual compromise. It sees the Nephilim as powerful, tyrannical individuals who emerged from these unholy alliances, not necessarily literal giants or hybrids. The royal, noble interpretation. A less common but historically present view suggests the sons of God were powerful human rulers, kings or nobles who practiced polygamy and tyranny, taking any women they desired. The Nephilim, in this context, would be the powerful, oppressive offspring of these rulers, becoming men of renown through their strength and dominance, rather than their parentage. While each interpretation has its merits and challenges, the angelic view seems to best account for the unique phrasing and the subsequent emphasis on God's judgment and the extraordinary nature of the offspring. The term Nephilim itself, translated as giants or fallen ones, carries an inherent sense of otherness, suggesting beings that deviate from the normal order of creation. The hidden theological meaning, transgression and divine boundaries. Beyond the specific identities, what profound theological insights does the Nephilim narrative offer? Primarily, it speaks to the pervasive nature of sin and the blurring of boundaries. If the angelic interpretation holds, it reveals a cosmic rebellion that predates and perhaps even contributes to the widespread human wickedness leading to the flood. It shows that transgression is not limited to humanity, but can permeate the spiritual realms, demonstrating the destructive power of rebellion against God's order. It underscores the sanctity of creation and the dangers of perverting its intended design. Even with the Sethite view, the story highlights the catastrophic consequences of spiritual compromise and the erosion of righteousness. It shows how the righteous line can become corrupted when it intermingles with ungodly influences, leading to a world devoid of moral compass. In either case, the Nephilim represent a profound anomaly, a symbol of a world that has veered dramatically from its divine purpose, forcing God to intervene dramatically. They stand as a testament to the fact that when divine and human boundaries are transgressed, chaos and corruption ensue. Controversies and theories, unanswered questions and enduring fascinations. The debate surrounding the Nephilim extends far beyond the identity of the sons of God. Their very existence raises questions about the nature of angels, the extent of divine intervention, and the mechanisms of divine judgment. The problem of angelic procreation. A common objection to the angelic view is Jesus' statement in Matthew 22:30 that in the resurrection, people neither marry nor are given in marriage. They are like the angels in heaven. However, some scholars argue this refers to the resurrected state or holy angels, not necessarily fallen ones, who might operate under different conditions or in defiance of divine order. The Rephaim and Anakim. The Bible later mentions other giant races, like the Rephaim, Anakim, and Emim. Deuteronomy 2:10-11, 20-21. Numbers 13:33 explicitly states, "We saw the Nephilim there. The descendants of Anak come from the Nephilim." This suggests that even after the flood, descendants or similar beings known as Nephilim reappeared, leading to fascinating discussions about how they survived or if the term simply became a general descriptor for giants. This post-flood mention adds another layer of complexity, hinting that the ancient transgression might have left a more enduring legacy than a simple flood could wash away. The apocryphal books. The Book of Enoch, though not of the biblical canon for most traditions, offers a detailed narrative of fallen angels, the Watchers, descending, intermarrying with human women, and begetting giants, Nephilim. This book deeply influenced early Jewish and Christian thought on the subject and provides an extra-biblical framework for the angelic interpretation, even if its canonicity is debated. These controversies highlight the deep theological and historical questions that the Nephilim present. They force us to grapple with the limit of our understanding and the mysterious ways in which God's narrative unfolds, often hinting at truths that transcend our immediate grasp. Part 3. The conclusion. Eternal echoes. So, what have we unveiled in our candlelit exploration of the Nephilim? We've journeyed through the ancient world, confronted the enigmatic verses of Genesis 6, and wrestled with the profound implications of an extraordinary union. Whether literal angel-human hybrids or symbolic representations of profound spiritual and physical corruption, The Nephilim stand as a powerful testament to the chaos that ensues when boundaries divine, human, or cosmic are transgressed. They serve as a stark precursor to the flood, illustrating the depth of depravity that gripped the pre-Diluvian world and necessitated a divine reset. Yet, the mystery of the Nephilim echoes far beyond the ancient past. It compels us to ponder the ongoing struggle between order and chaos, between divine will and rebellious acts, both human and perhaps even angelic. What does this ancient account tell us about the sanctity of creation, the dangers of perversion, and the unwavering resolve of God to maintain order in His universe? In their shadowed legacy, the Nephilim invite us not merely to decipher an ancient riddle, but to reflect on the perennial questions of good and evil, of our place within a grander cosmic drama, and of the enduring mystery of God's ways with His creation. The candlelight may flicker, but the questions sparked by the Nephilim continue to illuminate the profound depths of the biblical narrative. Here is an image to help you visualize the concept. But no, Nephilim, were they truly the